Welcome back to Sax Rec Sessions episode 5. I am Aníbal Rojas, here to talk to you about sound. When you play a note, you hear a pitch. The pitch is made up of frequencies. The main frequency is called the fundamental. The other frequencies are harmonics. The more extra frequencies or harmonics you have in your sound, in your pitch, the more colorful, the more complex, the more beautiful your tone will be. And this sort of quality needs to be projected throughout the whole instrument, whether you're playing altissimo notes or you're playing low notes. Different exercises that I use in order to get a good sound and to have an overall good control of the instrument are, for example, mouthpiece exercises. You want to get to the point where you're able to play a scale diatonically as well as chromatic. Sometimes I go back through some old books and try to recreate melodies from a beginner's book or Happy Birthday or other melodies that I might have in my head and try to play them just using my mouthpiece. Once I'm done working with a mouthpiece exercises, you will notice that there's a lot of changes in your throat and in your mouth cavity and so on and so forth, which are really hard to describe, and it's really something you have to experience for yourself. The only other thing that I can suggest is working with the neck and the mouthpiece and making sure that you're hitting the airstream correctly into the mouthpiece and neck of the saxophone, like this. You'll notice that there's a certain part where the airstream goes faster. If the mouthpiece is either too high or too low, you get somewhat of a muffled sound and you don't really feel the air going completely like a laser through the mouthpiece and through the neck. And you want to try to get kind of that lasery where there's the least amount of resistance, and that's the balance point. And that's where you should feel when you actually put the neck and the mouthpiece on the actual saxophone. In order to get a really nice, round, fat tone. Next, you want to give your sound and your music motion. Whether you're holding a long note or anything, you want to feel as if it's alive and it's moving. Generally, what I make my students do in order to achieve this is to jump. You'll notice after you stop jumping, you'll feel like something inside is still jumping. And be able to use that motion inside of you and project it into the saxophone, into your sound, into your music, to give music its motion. The next thing I practice is long tones. Next, do the same thing, but start quietly to crescendo and then decrescendo. Lastly, I do the Overtone Series. I play, for example, low B flat, which is the fundamental, and then I play its overtones or harmonics. having a better sound on the altissimo and being able to reach the really high altissimo really requires more of being able to move the air faster through the instrument. For example, if you have a hose and you have water coming out of it and you put your thumb over it, then the water will go faster. It's the same thing, but this time is with your airstream. A lot of people talk about throat position, vowel sounds. The only thing I can really comment on that is in the front part of your embouchure, you need to have a really ah sort of sound, really open, as opposed to the back of your mouth. When you say, for example, an e, a, e sort of sound, where the back of your tongue is actually closer to the roof of your mouth. The back of the tongue closer to the roof of your mouth, forcing the air to go faster. In terms of your throat, it's almost a feeling of swallowing. When you swallow, your Adam apples or your trachea goes up. And little things like that force your throat to go bigger or smaller, like this. This could be kind of gross, so I apologize for anybody who gets grossed out by this. When you normally play and you're blowing really hard, your throat gets really thick like this. Okay, and if you are making it smaller, you're kind of more doing like this. Those different movements is what helps you play the saxophone into the altissimo. Like small, and then really open.